So I'm Sioned and I play Pauline Mole. She's actually a great character to play. She's sassy. She says what she thinks. She doesn't hold back, but she's also. I was thinking about this. She's also can't really. She says what she thinks, but she also can't quite. Not with Adrian, especially. She can't quite tell him. She can't quite go there. But I was wondering this. I was thinking. Really, you see them from Adrian's perspective, I suppose. So all the characters are written from that perspective, and therefore probably see quite a different side of her. It's funny, isn't it? Because obviously, they're such great characters, and they're real people. They're real people. We all know these people, which is amazing. And I think that's why it's so great to play. They're real, they're down to earth, they're people that we all know or have met in, at some point in our lives. And it's fun to tell that story.
Yeah. And what was it that attracted you to the part?
Well, I saw it actually in the West End.
Yeah.
Back in, when was it? 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Rosie Ash, she was playing Grandma. And I loved it then. It's just got such a good vibe to it. And when I was offered it, to be honest, there was no question. I was like, yes, please. Sounds great. I just love the music. Pip and Jake have just, the music's just amazing. There's so much music as well, which is challenging, but also amazing. And this, I just think it's so well written. The whole thing is so well written. And it's funny, I think when you're learning a script, you can really tell when something's well written because it's just easy to learn. Yeah. And it just is, really is. And there's some lovely stuff taken from the books. And obviously, some little things have had to be adapted for the journey of the stage version, I suppose. But it's just such a wonderful adaptation. I love it.
And obviously the books have been around for 40 years. I mean, for me, because I'm in Leicester, so it's kind of it's obviously for me it's everywhere still here. But why do you think that kind of story remains popular?
I was actually on my way in just listening to a thing on YouTube about Sue Townsend, the secret life of Sue Townsend. It's just fascinating. It's just an amazing story. I suppose it's just the story, adolescence, and it's something we all go through. So we can all relate to that story. And I think, even though, of course, it was written in the 80s, it's all still very, very relevant. Obviously, there's some things that aren't, but there's quite a lot of things very relevant. And obviously, you're from Leicester, so it must resonate really sort of strongly with you.
Yeah. Because like you say, Sue Townsend's name's kind of everywhere. She's got a theatre here. She's got all sorts it's just so well known.
Yeah. I actually never read the books as a teenager because I would have been a teenager in the 90s, and I never read the book, and I don't know why. I remember it being around, but I never read it. But obviously, I've read it now and listened to the audiobooks as well. And it's a story of real life and something that we can all relate to because it's something we all we have all gone through. Even if there's only little things you can relate to, I suppose. There's something in there for everybody, I think. Yeah.
And as you kind of just mentioned, the text, did you kind of lean back into the original book when you kind of got the role?
Yeah. I started reading it. Actually ran out of time because of being a mum as well. But I found the audiobook, and it was whether that was better, because I don't know, I can still hear it in my mind, so maybe for me that was a better way of taking it all in, and I can still hear it. And so when I hear things in the script, I'm like, things are so sort of parallel with it, which is just great.
And how do you go about getting yourself into character before a performance?
On this one, with difficulty, as you know, this is Actor Muso. It's a very busy show, even without the element of playing. It's a mad show, mad in a great sense. But we're all, if we're not, if we're in the wings longer than a second, I was saying on opening night, you're panicking because you should be somewhere.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of acting music shows, and they're all very busy. But I don't know, this one seems busier, maybe because it's the biggest role I've played, which is amazing, and I'm absolutely thrilled and having the best time and just loving it. But to be doing everything else as well as that, obviously moving set and playing school kids and playing flute and playing piano as well, it's just fun. I think for me, it's just trying to find your little way into the scenes, because it all moves at such a fast pace. Just having a little something to trigger you going into the scene, just a little, where have you been, what have you been doing, sort of thing. Getting into that scene, because it just moves so fast. There's not much time to think about it, unfortunately, which is, but that's how these things go.
No, of course. Like you say, you've done actor musician shows before, and kind of, how does it kind of work for this story?
I think it works really well. So Doug, the director, we sort of set it that the beginning of the show, not giving too much away, but I'm sure I won't. We sort of see an older version of Adrian come into the attic to find his diary, and therefore sort of set a precedent that we're all, people looking back at the story, and therefore with the actor musicianship works really well, because we can all be there watching the story as it goes on, rather than just being random people or Pauline just standing on the side playing, so it actually serves a purpose then, that we're there watching the story unfold again in a way. But yeah, it's sorry, go on.
Would you say, like, obviously being a mother yourself, would that kind of impact kind of obviously playing a mother on the stage as well? Yeah,
it's the first time I've played a mum. Yes, because Gina wasn't a mum. So it has. I feel like I have some sort of understanding. I know she's a toddler, but I do feel like I have some sort of empathy, understanding in a different way that I had before. Not to say that you can't play a mum if you're not a mum or a dad, not at all. But I think I've just found some sort of, as I say, empathy and understanding, and maybe maturity in that sense that I couldn't understand before. But and I like that. I quite embrace the fact that I'm a mum and that I'm playing a mum, and I really love that.
Yeah, amazing. And obviously the show is relatively new British musical. I know it's had a couple of runs, kind of Curve and in London. How kind of exciting, obviously, for you is that, and how important for you is that as well?
Oh, really exciting. I think it's got a real buzz around it, actually, because, obviously it's had a few entities before, hasn't it? Curve, which I'm sure did you see it at Curve?
No, I didn't see either of them, to be honest.
No, okay, so it was Curve, then the Menier, which is where the cast who did the cast recording, then the West End. But I suppose what's slightly different about our version is the children are played by adults.
Yeah.
So we have a fully adult cast. So that's slightly different. And obviously we have the actor musician element to it. So I think that's quite exciting, because we have a slightly sort of, different version, which, is always nice to do, rather than sort of, doing, because you can never recreate what somebody else has done before. So it's quite nice to have that different sort of outlook on it in a way.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it keeps it kind of fresh, I suppose, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I know Tom, our MD, is, he's had to do a lot of new arrangements, obviously, because of the children's voices being different to adult male voices. So, it's been quite a challenge, but it's exciting actually to do it with an adult cast, because just get, from you get some amazing moments from the children. I remember seeing it, and it was just, I can't believe that, teenagers can play those size roles, because they're huge roles.
Yeah.
And it's just, incredible to think that they learned all that and were able to do that for months on end. But it's, it's also exciting to do it with adult cast, just to find maybe different nuances, and maybe we can be a little bit cheekier with it because they're adults. We're all adults.
Yeah, which is amazing. And if you could tell 13-year-old yourself something, what would you tell yourself about then?
Oh, I'd probably say chill out and just chill out and enjoy. I think I was always, even till a few years ago, always worried about what people thought of me. Always. And it's not until I've become a mum, which I've realised recently, that I've suddenly gone, this is me, and it doesn't matter. We're all great. Everyone's great, and we're all different, and we can all do different things. We all have different skills, and there's only one of you. So I think, I would definitely say, not that I wasn't being myself, but embrace being yourself, and just doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Just go for it.
Great advice, that.
Yeah.
Some more kind of general, I call them quick fire questions in every interview, but
right.
It's up to you how quick fire you want to answer them. They're all about you. So,
right.
What was the first piece of theatre that you can remember seeing?
Oh, the first one I remember seeing, it might have been a ballet with my mum, either that or maybe Starlight Express, which we as a family loved.
Yeah, solid. And what would be your favourite piece of theatre you've seen in your lifetime?
Oh, that's a tough one, Mark.
Yeah.
Many musicals.
Yes.
But also Jerusalem, which is on now again, which was a few years ago. Musical, my favourite. Oh God, too many to mention. I can't tell you. Let's go with Jerusalem.
That's a good answer. At least you're in mind, so that's an easy answer for me. What was the last TV show you binged? I mean, you probably don't get much time, but
hang on, no, there was one. What was it? The last TV show we binged. Oh, The Thief, His Wife and the Canoe.
Oh, yes, I keep seeing advertised.
ITV drama was excellent and fascinating, and I love true crime stories. I just love like documentary stuff. This is a drama, obviously, but it's based on a real life story, and I love that sort of thing.
Amazing. What would be? It doesn't have to just be career based. It could be anything. What would be one thing on your bucket list?
Oh, one thing on my bucket. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it funny that sometimes you just never think about these things?
Yeah.
What would I love to do? Let's say play Pauline Mole in the West End. Why not?
There you
just
go.
Put it out there.
You've manifested it now. There you go. Who are your biggest inspirations?
I love Judy Garland. I love her. I don't remember watching loads and loads of like musical movies when I was a child, but the very first amateur show I did was Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I played Tootie, the little girl, and I remember watching that film, and it will always stay with me. And I think I did at the time when I didn't realise that Judy Garland was Judy Garland. But I love her. I think she's incredible.
Yeah, she is incredible.
Yeah.
What would be your favourite theatre, either to visit or perform in?
Oh, one that I haven't performed in, or anything. God, there's so many, and they're all so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the Criterion. It was such a stunning theatre.
Yeah.
And a perfect venue for Amelie, wasn't it? It was just, I can't think of that being in a better venue there, especially with the trains going.
Yeah.
Where were they, above us or below? I can't even remember. They were above.
Must be below.
No.
Must be below.
Below, they were below us. I love the Criterion. It was a special time, and I think coming out of lockdown and everything, it sort of held a lot of special memories for everyone.
Yes, I agree. It's the first time I'd been at the Criterion, and amazing theatre.
Yeah, I think I'd been there, only once. So yeah, it's beautiful.
This is a big, deep question, but what does theatre mean to you?
What does theatre mean to me?
Yes.
I think it just means joy and being so lucky to do what I love doing. You sometimes go through, especially, with the last few years, it's been tough, and there's often tough times in the industry. The industry is blinking hard. But when we're so lucky to be doing what we love doing. And I think, it is joy, and just that being with people, like-minded people who also just love it and live it.
That's a lovely answer. My final question for you today, before I release you to do a show, would be simply, why should an audience come and see Adrian Mole?
Well, it is fun-filled, jam-packed with laughs. It's very funny. It's funny when you write something and then you put it in front of the audience, you're like, oh, it actually is really funny. It's very funny, and I think it's, as I said before, we can all relate to it in some sense, even if you've never read the books, even if you know nothing about it. I think it's still hilarious, and the music is just really fantastic, and there's a lot of hits of lots of things in it musically, which is amazing and very clever. It's just joyful. There's nothing heavy about it. You'll come out smiling and buzzing like we do at the end of the show, I'm sure, and very tired.
Yes. Well, that is a brilliant answer, and I thank you for that. And for anyone who was watching who wants to get tickets, the show is on until Saturday, the 21st of May at the Queen's Theatre in Hornchurch. So thank you for your time.
I got you back.
Oh, that's right. I was just saying.
I got you back.
Where people can get tickets. You didn't miss anything exciting. So, thank you for your time today. And
thanks. It was lovely to see you.
And you, hopefully I'll get down, because half term here's the last week you're on, so hopefully I can get down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, it's quite a trek for you from Leicester, but
but it's one of them, because it's a Leicester story as well. Like I say, I've not seen it.
Yeah, it is.
It's a Leicester I didn't see it somehow.
Yeah, if it's for anyone, it's for you, Mark. You'll love it.
I will.